Hello. My name is Ashley. Um, I'm gonna be. I've realized today that I now would be a good time to chronicle my journey to get back into the winning column, Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. More importantly, combat period, but really where I started Jiu-Jitsu. Where I've put a lot of my focus and a lot of my time, and I've grasped the art pretty easily. I can see it being a part of me and something that I think about majority of the day. Um, you know, it's like that thing where you were like in the Matrix or in other movies, other sci-fi movies, where somebody will look at something and they see what they understand in what they see, and like nine people will see a TV and they'll see like The Simpsons on TV, but that one person out of 10 will see ones and zeros. That's how I kind of see stuff with jujitsu. Like somebody will do some movement and I'll see, oh, like that. I was watching a scary movie earlier today, The Howling 2. Your sister was a werewolf, and one of the characters, her boyfriend picked her up and put him on his back to go to the door for a trick-or-treater. And the way she got on his back was something that you would utilize in jiu-jitsu to take someone's back from standing. So with that reflection and with that observation, I realized that it's probably a good time for me to start this chronicle and kind of vlog this part of my life. I guess I had a fight to win 271 yesterday, Friday the 31st, and was fighting a girl that did her best, but on my best day, it wasn't the same. It wouldn't have been the same, and mad respect to her for getting the win, eking out the win. But things just fell into her favor that day. And had I been competing on a regular basis and not taking these huge breaks in between that I have, there's been like the minimal in break that I've taken have been a year. There's been 365 days of nothing, of training, of no, doing that, but there has not been any breakup in competition and in testing myself. And I pride myself in having the gall and the balls to test myself, because most people don't. And people who will sweat all day in training and practice, and be those killers in practice, for some reason it doesn't translate in them wanting to compete. And I've never been that type of athlete. I've always been someone who said, yeah, okay, it's making sense in here. Let's see if it can go make sense for 30 seconds in a test, what I'm saying. And so taking into account the events of yesterday and just the reflection on those events, and fact that I you could probably tell in my voice and in the way I look, I do not feel well. I hadn't felt well since Tuesday. Well, yeah, since Wednesday night. I hadn't felt well. And I thought maybe it was because I went to a basketball game and I was screaming at the basketball game on Tuesday. I was like, oh, that's probably why my throat is kind of crazy. But then get to Wednesday night and I'm like, whoa, why do I feel like this? And so I go to work on Wednesday and I'm fine. And then Wednesday night, I'm like, ooh, feeling kind of gross, kind of crusty. I wake up Thursday morning and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to go to work. But I'm like looking at it like, oh, this is a blessing in disguise because I can take the day to prepare, to get myself feeling better, because maybe it's just stress, something like that. So let me get myself together and I can take this time to kind of do what I need to do for the fight tomorrow. And a friend of mine, he had called me and he was like, yeah, Ashley, the fight is on Saturday. And I've been thinking it Friday. And I'm thinking I have 2 days. I'm thinking I have Thursday and Friday, as I haven't competed in a minute. So I forget that those fight to wins are on Fridays now. So anyways, yeah, cut to trying to get this day, take this Thursday to kind of get myself uncrustable. And so, but no excuses, just kind of giving reasons as to why I look so ratchet in this video and why, as I'm preparing, at the fight, I'm like, man, I can't get breath into my lungs, it's very tinny, it's very like thin. The air that I'm being able to get, it's not substantial air, it's thin air. So I'm like, man, I can't. Oh, golly, okay, Ashley, get your, and I felt very good actually. Like there weren't as many nerves as I usually get. But, and when I got on that mat, like I touched the mat with my feet and I was like, man, this feels good. I feel like it. I feel like home. And then I just made a fluky mistake where I pulled her on top of me rather than catching that leg. It was a very lazy half guard pull. And she reacted in the way she needed to. She just kind of sprawled in the air. That way she could kind of jump my guard, basically. And so, but as I'm reflecting on everything, I'm in a space where I'm like, I'm looking at it very objectively. I'm not looking at it to where I feel pained or hurt. I take that back. I do feel pained. I do feel hurt. I was cussing up a storm when I got home. I was howling at people and angry, but not hollering, but just angry. There was a bass in my chest. There was bass in my voice saying, I'm no longer going to tolerate any negative feedback. So if you have that, then we can't be in close proximity to each other because I can't allow it. And just putting people on notice that need to know, and so this video is kind of like an introduction to that chronicle. I'll be making subsequent videos going into the Helena Cuervar seminar that's coming up on the 16th of February. And that will lead me into the Austin Open 2025, no gi and no gi, on the 22nd of this month. This is my birthday month. So I'm utilizing this as a moment to kind of clear the table and clear everything and start fresh. And start from a place that's positive and start from a place that I'm familiar with so I can navigate my way back into what I know. And that's progression, that's success. And don't get me wrong, I do know that the journey is success too, is part of that success. And I do not take for granted that these losses as teaching moments. And that's what I consider myself doing in making this chronicle and making this introductory video, because I feel that when I do that, when I do, take that first step and start to kind of vlog it for myself, really, and just how I maneuver and things like that, I will, basically, I'll be able to take video of myself and know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. And then two, I'll be able to kind of be able to reflect on the thought process I had going into that day, the thought process I had in utilizing a specific movement, you know, and I can look back on this as a teaching moment for the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because this is all in pursuit of my black belt. At the end of the day, I've been doing this since 2012. Day one, April 2012, was my day one going into Gracie Baja and getting my white belt and starting this journey. And I haven't stopped since. It's either been jiu-jitsu or MMA. The last 4 or 5 years, it's been jiu-jitsu. I'm going to say 6 years, it's been jiu-jitsu since 2018. So, that took a lot of my focus. I thought that, okay, I can set jiu-jitsu down because I have a good grasp on jiu-jitsu, and now I need to get this stand-up. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, MMA is about multitasking. It's about doing it all. So now that I'm kind of aware of that a little bit more, I kind of know, okay, how I need to do both. And right now, setting jiu-jitsu down strictly for stand-up wasn't necessarily, when I look back on it, I don't feel like it was a good choice. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that, because I do feel like my hands are 10 times better than what they were from Jump Street. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is a chronicle for everything. But I'm trying to root myself, and because I think that my roots are kind of displaced right now. I think that whole erosion stuff is taking place, and my roots are bare, and they've kind of been unearthed and displaced, and I need to kind of get rooted back into some substantial soil so I can grow. So this is just kind of like I said, kind of like an introductory to me getting back into the space I need to be in order to achieve the success that I want to achieve in combat sports, specifically MMA and jiu-jitsu. And just to become a better person, better athlete at the end of the day. And thank you guys for indulging me, and thank you for tuning in. From this day forward, it's every day getting back to the top. And I appreciate you guys coming along with me on the journey. Thank you. Os.